I would say that AI is nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. That's what my word would be. Why would I say that? And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's a few things that are very important. And if you don't pay attention to it, you'll miss it. Um, First of all, change always happens, and we can't let that be like the axis of evil every time when change happens. Change happens. It is what it is. You just got to get used to change. But the biggest issue that I see out of this will actually come from only a certain group of people who have adapted to the sound of AI. I'll explain about that a little bit later. But first, let me just go a little bit further right now and talk about where we are. First of all, as artists. Um, as an artist, one thing that AI can never do is replace your experiences in life, your hurt, your pain. Um, AI can never replace true human emotions. It will never be able to have true human emotions. It will never be able to have a connection to a spiritual sense in life outside of what it's been programmed to do. It can never be programmed to do that. It can mimic the human, but it cannot mimic real human expression. So, why do I say that? I say that because I need you guys to start thinking about this from a different standpoint. I love to study people and I love to study things that are around me. I'm very attentive to a lot of things around me. So, I study uh, a lot. And so, in studying, what I've noticed more than anything, especially when it comes to the sound, AI has a certain cadence and it has a certain format of how it sings. And if you listen to enough of the songs that's done by AI, you'll begin to notice that AI repeats itself in a sense of cadence, how it sings songs and the rhythm patterns of songs, because that's what they've been taught, rhythms. When you hear a singer sing a song and it's very emotional and things of that nature, you hear certain nuances, you hear certain textures, certain expressions that can only happen from the inside deeply, and that machine can never feel that, and it can never relay that accurately to where other humans can feel it the same way. And that's the part about it. It's a human to human thing with music. Music is human to human. The robot sense, AI, it can develop a certain a soft sound or hold certain notes for long term. But if I could give you an example, when you listen to gospel music, the actual nature of the songs, when they sing it hard and they sing it from a different place, a robot can't do that. What it can do, and I hate to put this on y'all, but this is true. When you listen to a lot of the watered down, I hate to say watered down, but when you listen to a lot of the songs now that people call worship, those songs can be sung ex- without the expression. It can be sung without the deep human experience in it. You know, we do praise and things like that around surrounding the moment, the experience of the actual recording, maybe. But when singing a song, it's just notes. It's notes being held. It's notes being held long, short, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's as simple as that with these songs. So what happens? A AI can easily take that and learn it, but and it can learn the voice texture as far as the person's sound, but it cannot take the experience out of a song. And so, see, that's the thing that really trips me out more than anything, is because uh, the world has studied us enough to know humanity, the smart people that have sat around and studied you, human beings who have uh, been so freely moving, um, you know, and like life is bliss. It's just I've started to realize, man, it's crazy because like I say it all the time. The predator spends all of his time studying the prey. The prey spends all of his time enjoying life in the moment. And that's why usually it's ate up. And so we're seeing the eat up moment because y'all been playing with this music industry for the longest, and all of this technology. Y'all ain't studying this technology. I saw a new piece that was put out, a new ad, and a guy was saying, sing to your AI and let them learn your voice. Sing to your AI and let them learn your voice. Okay, bro. Wow. Bro. Think about what he's saying. So now he wants all of you singers to go into AI and teach them how you sound so that they can steal each of your voices. Your unique voice. It's a unique piece. It's going to steal your unique you, and it's going to place you in the robot's mind so that the robot can sing just like you. So then they type it in, they'll have more styles of singing to steal from. However, they will never be able to grasp that human experience out of you, but they can get your voice. And I don't understand why you guys are actually teaching this robot how to sing like you. And so that's where we come into uh, the other issue that's at hand. And this is where you have to realize the cadence is just like with Christian music. When the more CCM praise and worship style started happening, you saw a lot of people from gospel side slide into that side, learning the style, right? And making new music. Watch. So you become adaptive, and they've learned that humans become adaptive. They're very adaptive. So you see something enough, it becomes reality. If you hear something enough, it becomes reality that this thing that you see or hear is now the most popular thing. And it is, if it's the possible thing, if I'm sorry, if it is the most popular thing, then that's what you need to do, or that's who you need to be. Like, that's why, like, for me, I understood a long time ago that I'm unique in my own way of what God has created. And so, if that's the case, I refuse to go and try to sound like someone else. And it's like the world has understood that people are followers. The majority of people are followers. Now, I'd also like to say this one little piece, and I'll come back to it. Everyone is not a creative. Everyone is not a creator at all. So let's go back now. So now that they know that everyone follows, and if you show it enough, they become desensitized, and they begin to realize that this, or they begin to say to themselves that this is the way to go. This is who I should be because this is what the world has enjoyed. You see, inside of life, I'm understanding that you have this thing called the world that we all live in, but over time, commercials on television has taught us what to buy, what we need, what we're missing. All of that has been a new component that has been placed inside of social media. Social media is a world inside of a world. So when you start to realize it, that most people live in this world but don't even actually live in it. They don't exist in this world. They exist in social media's world. And so you see so many people that follow trends, they follow whatever it takes to be popular inside of social media. And so all of this is pulling us to a place inside of this place, this realm of make believe. So let's go back to AI for a moment when it comes to music. When it comes to music, that's what we're seeing, guys. Listen, this person just got a deal for $3 million. An AI artist just got a deal for $5 million. All of this stuff is set up to lead you somewhere. Information is shared to lead you somewhere. Watch, every time God spoke, he never spoke to have a casual conversation. He spoke to take us somewhere, to help us somehow, to take us somewhere. Anytime the devil spoke, he never spoke for casual conversation. He only speaks to take you somewhere. I hope y'all follow me for just a moment. You'll understand something. These different highlights that you see, highlights. You're seeing the highlights moments because the highlights are making you want to do something more. Now people are saying, you know what, forget about me trying to sing a song. Why don't I just go and make some AI artists and just have them sing it? It's easier, it's cheaper, it's easier. I might get $1 million deal for it. And so that's the thought process, right? But now here's the danger for the artist when it comes to AI. The danger. This is the danger point when it comes to it. The danger is if enough artists go broke trying to record, they'll go to AI and start using AI, right? If enough artists see that, hey, it's not worth it, sooner or later, the market is over flooded with people that are making AI artists and putting AI music out. What happens with that is this. As I told you before, AI will never be able to take on the actual presence of human history, the hurt, the pain, all of the emotions. So you become used to hearing what AI sounds like. And after you become used to hearing that meal with no salt, no gravy, no flavor, once you become used to hearing it enough, it becomes the norm. And you believe that this is good music. Who's gonna believe that, Thomas? That's what somebody might ask. It's like, I just talked to a guy last night, um, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine last night from Fox News, and we were sitting around talking, and he said, you know what? He let me hear a little component of a little piece of a concert he had just came from with his son, and he was like, "Man, it's some of the greatest music." And he was listening to opera. It was opera. When I forget the guy's name that was singing, but he's a blind guy that sings opera, and he sold out the stadium. He was singing. He was like, "Listen to that." I told him, I said, "Yeah, you hear that?" I said, "Could you imagine the energy in the room when he was singing the song and how it felt to actually hear a person sing it, right?" All right, so that capture of a moment in a person in his age group is going to be major because they're used to hearing that sound. But the moment the next generation comes along and they're not used to hearing real people sing, real experiences being put out there, then the next thing that happens is it becomes so normal that when they do hear the real, it's not accepted. It's called conditioning. And that's what's happening inside of social media's world. It wasn't enough to have a world that was impacted by the ads that they put on TV, the actors that they put on TV. The ads that says, "Come visit our water park, come visit our fine establishment," and it only has white people on it, no black. And then the same ad that will show the sale of cheap furniture at a low price, and then you have black people as the actors on the commercial. Conditioning, the thought process of conditioning that America and the world has played its part in to make people think a certain way about people. You know what I'm saying? A certain way about gender, of whether or not women can do this or men can do this, all this stuff, all of this conditioning put in place. And so now we look at this and we begin to see the conditioning of music. See, the music business realized that when it cracked down on them real hard and they lost a lot of money because they had been scamming these artists for years, stealing these bad record deals. Well, they had to get behind the scene and figure out a new way to control the masses. It's just like slavery. You let people out of slavery, but you don't give them acres. You don't give them a home. You put them as indentured servants now, where they have to work. They have to become employees of the people who were actually their slave owners. And now all of a sudden they get paid only peanuts, so they have to work forever still to never own anything. It's just you think of a new way to keep the slavery alive. And so in the music industry, these big record heads behind the scenes that have had so many millions and billions of dollars at stake have come together and figured out, let's use, so these people are too free with their gift. So first, let's use these platforms that will actually now cause them to give us their gift for a very low price. So they work forever and never get rich. Same with his slavery, right? So they work forever, never get rich on the Spotify's and all of this stuff, right? So then we people get a little smarter, and then the civil rights actions work, and people finally get to working jobs, and they riding on the bus, and then they bring along the policing factor and those things of prison where they throw people in jail and they use them as slaves, and the people that have been around for a while now and they're still working, but now they put them in jail, they put them in neighborhoods, and they and implement drugs, everything else to make their life become still miserable, and they have to work even harder, twice as hard, and still never own anything. So it goes the same way. So now they police the game in a different way, and they say, you know what? Let's just take AI, put it into power, so that those artists who thought they were freed up now and they could make money can't make that money. And we'll just create AI artists that'll steal their sound, steal their voice, steal their style. It's just ironic that the one people that you still can't take from are the people with that sound and that experience, and and are able to put it in music. Now, this is one thing I'll say about music. This is something that I've learned over time from the generations that I've grown up through. It's something when things disappear in life, things change, right? You always have seasons that switch up and they change. So, inside even the music business, I look at AI like this: when something disappears, something new comes along. But when the old returns and it was a good thing, it's even better than before. So, don't stress out, artists, about AI. Don't stress out about all this quote unquote deal things that they're doing. They can never replace the artist. They'll never replace you if you're unique. If you notice, A&Rs, share this little piece with you. You have to really study this thing, man. Guys, y'all got to study this. If you remember back in the 90s, those of you that was in the record business and the industry, you'll notice that A&R stopped being A&R somewhere in the 90s, right? A&R started, they went from the model of looking for new artists that sound great and had something different, and they switched their mode from that to, let's go after artists that sound like the artist that's making the biggest buzz right now. So they wouldn't sign new artists with new sounds. They signed artists only that sound like other artists. And that crave, it's been going on and on since that. If you look at it, look at your last past several artists. All of these artists have the same style.